I think we have all been there, the moment of truth. And nothing is worse than putting all your effort into your health and weight loss goals only to be shocked that you haven't lost a single pound. But don't worry, I've been there too. So today I'm going to be giving you guys some tips on how to help. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Stasia and I'm following a high carb, low fat, plant-based diet, oil-free, based on the recommendations of Dr. John McDougall's book called The Starch Solution. If you're new here, my channel is all about my own plant-based weight loss journey, as well as helping you with yours. So first, welcome. And secondly, be sure to check out all my other videos. I have lots of what I eat in a day videos, recipe videos, a lot of good stuff that will certainly help you out with this way of eating. And in addition to that, I have an awesome Facebook group. If you're looking just for a little bit more support or guidance with this way of eating, or just somewhere to post your successes, your struggles, be sure to check it out. I will leave the link in the description box below. Oh, and my apologies about this lighting. I swear every time it's film day, it's a gray day. So hopefully it's not too bad for you, but I just wanted to apologize. Okay, so going back to my intro, please tell me I'm not the only one that has had one of those days where you have been giving it your all, you're feeling good, you're feeling confident, and you're wanting to check in with the scale and you're just sure it's going to give you the results that you know that you should have, only to be disappointed. Yeah, I've probably had that happen more than I'd like to admit, so that's part of the reason why I've kind of taken a break from this scale and just trying to develop a better relationship altogether with this scale. But that's a story for another day. Today I want to talk about if you are having troubles losing weight following the Starch Solution or a high carb, low fat, plant-based diet in general, or maybe you've just hit a plateau and you just can't seem to lose anymore. My own weight loss journey has not been fast or even easy at some points, so I've really had to troubleshoot to figure out why. So today I want to share with you some things that I'm applying to my own weight loss journey because I really feel like they could help you with yours as well. So let's get into it. Okay, so this one, in my opinion, is very important, and I feel like it's not really discussed that much in this way of eating, and it's something that is really helping me now that I'm giving a little bit more attention to it. Okay, so with this way of eating, most of us have probably heard, you know, it's an unlimited way of eating. Eat as much as you want, eat until you're full, go back for second helpings. This is a voluminous way of eating. Fair enough, but I feel like for some of us, it's a bit of a learning curve for us to understand and realize when enough is enough. And while we don't count calories eating this way, which is amazing, I'm sure we can all agree on that, that doesn't mean that calories don't matter or that calories don't exist, because they do. And if you're consuming too many, no matter how healthy the food is, you're just not going to lose. I'm still learning to eat when I'm actually hungry and not eat when I'm bored, when I'm stressed, when I'm craving. These are all other reasons why we eat sometimes. So for someone like me, when I hear, well, you can eat as much as you want, you can eat however many times you want, that doesn't always work for me. Because it is very possible to overdo it, especially if you're still consuming some nuts, toast, cereals, and snacks. So we do have to be mindful of how much food we're consuming in a day. So while you don't have to count calories eating this way, thank goodness again, I would recommend that if you're having trouble losing weight or if you've just stalled out, just to keep an eye on your portions. For example, if you're having 2 cups of rice, you can scale it back to maybe 1.5 cups or 1 cup of rice and see if things start moving again. But for me, I really found that that was a game changer when I'm now being a little bit more conscious of my portions. I have had a lot of people in the comments or privately messaging me really struggling with why they're not losing weight. And they swear that they've been following the 50-50 rule, they're doing the maximum weight loss version, and they still just can't get things to budge. So I would really recommend just looking at your portions. How much I eat is going to differ from the next person because all of us are so different. My plate might not be the same size as your plate. So everything's kind of relative to yourself, not what anyone else is doing. So don't be afraid to keep an eye on your portions. Even if it just meant for a couple of days, you know, you could measure out 1 cup of rice, 1 cup of beans, 1 cup of whatever, or 2 cups, whatever it is that you want. but even for a couple of days, then you could just get an idea of how much you're consuming roughly and what it's going to take to get things moving again. I personally have been paying a little bit more attention to this, and it's honestly been such an eye-opener for me. So no to counting calories, but yes to keeping an eye on your portions. Okay, so this next one was actually a discussion that was going on in my Facebook group, and it was about whether or not that some foods keep you fuller longer than other ones, as well as some foods expedite weight loss faster than other ones. Now, while there are no starches that are off the table in the starch solution, it does appear that some people seem to have better luck with some more than others. For example, it seemed like a lot of people had more success when they were sticking to potatoes, white potatoes, sweet potatoes, any potatoes, rather than the grains. And don't get me wrong, that's not any concrete truth right across the board. No, that's just how some people felt, and other people might feel the exact opposite. Perhaps they have better results when they're sticking to things like rice or quinoa over potatoes. So it's really an individual thing. For me, I feel like I do better when I'm consuming more potatoes than the grains. And there's a couple of reasons why. For the potatoes, I feel like I'm fuller much longer. With the rice, I feel full instantly, but very shortly afterwards, I feel hungry again. And the other problem with rice for me is that I can consume a lot of it before I actually feel full. Whereas with the potatoes, I feel like I can have like one medium to large sweet potato and I'm feeling quite full off of that. Or 2 or 3 small to medium potatoes and I'm feeling quite full off of those. But the rice, I can really pack in the rice. So for me personally, I'm focusing more on potatoes and sweet potatoes being kind of my main starch. And then of course having rice with my stir fry or a sushi bowl or something like that, maybe once or twice a week. So I would love to keep this conversation going because I find it really cool and really helpful to kind of see what works for some people and what doesn't work for other people. So if you could leave in the comments what your favorite starch is that you feel is the best for weight loss and the best for keeping you full, I think that would be really great for other people reading the comments as well as myself. So don't forget to drop it down below and we'll keep this topic going. Okay, so the next one should be a given because it is one of the rules that Dr. McDougall talks about, and it's eating your non-starchy veggies before eating your starchy vegetables. Now this one is an important one for me and one that I'm not a huge fan of, if I'm being honest, because when I'm hungry, I tend to just want to inhale my starchy foods first, right? Because I know they're gonna fill me up fast. And if I'm being honest, for a while, I really didn't think it mattered all that much. So a lot of the times I was eating my starch first. So if I'm having rice and veggies, let's say, I'm eating the rice first and then, a little bit of my veggies with it. And I thought that was good enough, but it wasn't. Going back to my first point in this video about watching your portions, you can really overdo it if you don't consume your non-starchy veggies first. In fact, that is the magic behind this way of eating, is that we can eat in volume, but it has to be the right things, right? So we need to make sure that our bellies are feeling full off of the non-starchy, which are the low calorie density foods, that we're filling up on those ones first, and then we're topping it off with our starchy foods that are a little bit more calorically dense. It's really important for it to be in that order, and that's something that I really had to learn for myself, so I thought it was really important to share that with you guys in case you're anything like me and thought, it probably doesn't matter. It does, because every little bit adds up. And if you are consuming too many of the starches and not enough non-starchy vegetables, that could possibly be a reason why you're not seeing things move the way that you might like. Okay, so this next one also very much applied to myself, so I thought it was really important to talk about it with you guys. So while Dr. McDougall does allow for some lightly processed condiments, such as ketchup and mustard and maple syrup, barbecue sauce, anything that's no oil, very, very low in fat, we can use those, which is great. It really does help this way of eating. However, if you're drowning your French fries in ketchup or barbecue sauce, or you're drowning your morning oatmeal in maple syrup, then that certainly can add up as well. It's very easy to get sucked into that kind of trap because we have this thinking and teaching that, well, it's unlimited, so I can have as much as I want. But when it comes to weight loss, every little bit does matter. Now, I love using condiments on my foods. It really, really makes a difference for me. So that's something that would be a deal breaker. I really enjoy having a little bit of ketchup with my fries. However, it is something that I've also had to start paying a little bit more attention to, because depending on the amount of fries, you know, it's very easy just to cover them completely. So now instead, I'm trying to use just like a little bowl, a little side bowl where I can, you know, just eyeball like a tablespoon or two of ketchup or something. And then when I'm done that. There's no going back to add more ketchup on top. So it's just another thing that we just have to be mindful of if we are not seeing things move as fast as we would like. And another thing worth mentioning about condiments is that unfortunately, they can make us eat more. It's normal. If your food tastes better, if it tastes really good, you're going to want to eat more whether you're hungry or not. So some plant-based doctors, they will recommend really scaling back on the condiments and sticking more to bland food, because then you'll be less tempted to eat more. So for me, I just want to find the happy medium somewhere, because bland food is also a big no-no for this girl. So I would like to not be on either of the extremes and just find the balance there. So again, it's just being mindful. For those of you who have been following my journey since my very first video, and if you haven't seen that, I can post a link in the description box below. You might remember me saying that I was starting this off by following the maximum weight loss version. And then later down the road, I explained that I felt that that was maybe a little bit too ambitious at the time, and I decided to start following just the regular Starch Solution version. Which the main difference being that you are allowed to have some very minimally processed healthy foods such as cereals, whole grain toast, rice cakes, things that are oil-free and low-fat. So with that being said, if you are following the regular Starch Solution version and you are consuming some of these processed foods, like myself, then you do have to be mindful that those things can add up very, very quickly. Some of those foods can be quite calorically dense in comparison to just natural, whole food, plant-based foods. So that is something for myself. I do allow myself to have whole grain toast, but I only have that maybe once a week or twice a week. Certainly not something that I have every single day. Again, for me, I really enjoy just finding the balance, finding my happy medium, rather than having to be on one extreme or the other. It might take a little bit more work, and it might require being a little bit more mindful of what I'm eating. But for me, the way that it makes me feel, it feels like that's worth it. What can I say? I enjoy a good sandwich here or there, and I enjoy my fries with salt and ketchup. So again, this is not a diet, it's a lifestyle. So each of us have to figure out what works for us, and we also have to enjoy it. That's a really, really important piece that a lot of people can easily forget. Me personally, I'm content with a slow and steady weight loss if it means having a happy, enjoyable journey. All right, guys, so there you have it. As I always promise, anything that I'm learning along the way, or any struggles or any tips or tricks that I'm applying to my own plant-based weight loss journey, I will be sure to share with all of you. For some, losing weight comes as a breeze. It's easy, it's smooth, it's fast, but not for all of us. So I think it's really important and really helpful to have these types of discussions so we can all help and support each other on our plant-based weight loss journeys. It's really starting to get dark now, so I'm going to leave it here. But if you've made it this far, and if you're new to my channel and would like to continue to get all my tips and tricks that I'm learning along the way, then be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to comment below what's been working for you, what's not working for you, and we will see you in the next one.